Greetings, my fellow free will and thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to L3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth, and today's date is Wednesday, October 27th, 2021, and this episode is 1409. Terrorist cop killer Gilbert Paroled and criminal charges on the table in Alec Baldwin case. Before I'm going to do that, I'm just browsing around here on censored.news, which is multi-links to a lot of great articles. I recommend folks checking it out. And that looks like here, judge from Epoch Times, judge to allow men allegedly shot by Kyle Rittenhouse to be referred as rioters during trial. So not victims, but rioters. So I know that's going to drive the prosecution team crazy. We have another one here, AG Garland defense memo targeting parents after NSBA letter is withdrawn. It tells you he's a centralized hack, a treasonous parasite, and makes Bannock Arnold a patriot. And they have one here about top Florida official pleads with in and out to move after vaccine mandate closure, which happened in California. He wants to try to bring the burger franchises to Florida. And like I said, well and good, but I think I like to see more of local mom and pop shops just take over the state of Florida. And I say that out of love. And we got over here too from Natural News. It's like there's busted New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy planning to impose statewide COVID vaccine mandate after re-election because he was sold his rear end to Big Pharma, right? Hey, to all you folks that's out there in New Jersey, read your Article 1 of your state constitution and stick it to the man. And of course, Life Site, the ones the big text hate with a passion. Yale disease experts tells parents to educate kids at home to avoid school jab mandates. And have one down here about tyrannical COVID agenda violates every law of the land. Canadian doc blast jab mandates. Read the Canadian Constitution. It's very self-explanatory. And of course, says here, Canada's employment minister says workers filed for refusing jobs are ineligible for benefits. Control, control, control. God bless the Club of Rome. God bless the Club of Rome. To all those people, America should be like Canada. You know what? Pack your crap and move to the Great White North and pull down your pants and lick the shoes of Justin Trudeau and his flamboyant tyrannical lackeys. And then tell me how great Ottawa really is. And don't get me wrong, there's some awesome people from that area as well. They're fighting, they're telling him F you too, Trudeau, which he's nothing more than a glam boy anyway. Oh, I'm just so pretty, and I can talk all I want, people are going to bow down. No, everyone's revolting on this global domination from all walks of life, and even here in these United States. So, only thing I tell everyone is keep putting their feet to the fire. And of course, we got here from Blacklisted News, Doug Owen, the CEO of Blackstone, is warning that a real shortage of energy will cause social unrest all over the planet. And Cloak and Dagger military intelligence outfit at center U.S. digital vaccine passport push. All right, and of course, in Zero Hedge, congested port of L.A. receiving empty containers from Gulf Southeast. Greatly in debt, this is Western Journal. Greatly in debt, 3 people and dog rescued just in time as capsized sailboat sinks. Oh man, we can go on here. National Pulse, okay? This is here. Unearthed Wuhan lab docs show Bat Lady Shi Zhengli isolating coronavirus strain for direct contact. So yeah, look at all this up here. It's very good. And of course, we have here the SHTF plan. You can figure it out.com. CDC wants to get a 4th COVID jab. Well, I want them to do it first. Oh man, it's like Twilight Zone here, right? And of course, bogus FDA advisory committee on child vaccines featured Pfizer group chair. That's national file. InfoWars don't matter. And of course, Warnet Daily. Your papers, please. Fed announced plans requiring you to show COVID documents. Yeah, centralization. Nah, we got the anti-commandeering doctrine a la 10th Amendment. So big middle finger to those posers. And smoking gun evidence the FBI was behind the attack on our Capitol. That was a good video. You go to that click. It's very good, and I recommend people to check it out. So, what else is happening here? So, even with prosecutors reveal criminal charges. Okay, I'm going to talk about that as a big league politics. And Donald Trump endorsed Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Oh man, everyone's like being the mouthpiece. I could be the best mouthpiece here when it comes to liberty and freedom. Of course, the Liberty headlines: FBI blocks House GOP from investigating January 6th, and they're trying to get only one party. And of course, more workers sue U.S. nuclear lab over vax mandate. And you got here mainstream media attacks Don Jr. for a T-shirt mocking Alec Baldwin. Well, hey, you reap what you sow, okay? If he can dish it out, he has to learn to receive. And if people don't like it, too bad. And then another good site too to check out is End of the American Dream has been edited by, the editor is Michael Snyder. He's very good. He has one here. It turns out that Fauci has been doing this sort of thing for a very long time. Information liberation, FDA panel backs Pfizer shots for kids. We're never going to learn about how safe vaccines is unless we start. Twilight Zone. And man, Warner Brothers betrays BLM with shocking airbrush change to China's posters for Dune. That's Conservative Tribune. They did a remake of Dune. I'm just wondering how far they're going to go by the book. It's like a lot of stuff goes back and forth. And it says here too, Biden, you're full of crap. Clash with workers come back to haunt him as videos go viral. All right, and of course, News Punch. This was our section here, News Punch. White House not familiar with F. Joe Biden and Let's Go Brandon Chancey. Ireland suspended doctor accuses health officials of crime against humanity. So if you speak out, they want to ostracize you. Good grief. And Humans Are Free has an article here. It says AMA pilots to ban ivermectin so that more people die from COVID. Control. In our all-news pipeline, there's an article here. Let me look. Oh, this one here. This is not science. It's satanic evil. And of course, I know about that. About Florida governor wants to offer $5,000 to COVID vaccine hesitant cops who will relocate. And of course, we just go down the tube here. Police reform in Connecticut almost cost a Hartford officer her life. An Arlington officer fired 48 hours after shooting driving vehicle at him. All right. Of course, officer attacked, throat slashed by suspect who had beaten son to death. There's more tyranny. New York City set loose 1/4 of its police officers Friday. So more crap is going to be hitting the fan in the Big Apple, which is heinous. And don't forget, too, strange sounds, a magnetic tunnel of radio waves surrounds Earth. And, of course, La Palma update, the volcano in the Canary Islands, they call it. And, of course, oh, man, there's a lot of stuff here. So I always encourage people to check it out. So, it's just one of those things, and the whole song and dance continues, and of course, people are going to be looking at the monumental deception, the rhetoric and so forth, COVID passes, passports, Big Brother, chip on the wrist and the brain, all become robots and zombies, and have Big Pharma and all these big tech companies rule the world, agriculture, pharmaceutical, and defense, and all that good stuff. So man. And of course, Just News, yep. Texas Governor Abbott signs bill making students athletes to play teams corresponding to biological sex. I know the ACU is going to have a cow, but just tell them to stick it on this topic with all due respect. And G News says here, FCC revokes authorization for Communist China Telecom to operate in the U.S. Yeah, you always got those losers that go on that channel as well. Oh man, let's see here. Oh, 100% fed up reports. Members of Rustcast used prop guns with live ammunition to shot beer cans hours before Baldwin ordeal. So, and of course here on PM was a post-millennial Halloween villain Michael Myers accused of being homophobic for killing gay people in a new movie. Oh, how sensitive is that, right? And of course, CD Media, California man arrested for allegedly threatening to kill Matt Gaetz and his members of his family. Oh man, it's like, I just wonder how authentic that really is, right? First U.S. passport issued to gender marker X. That's from the post-millennial, excuse me. So, people got a lot to read here. So much information out there, folks. It's just totally insane. But you know how that goes. The sensitive crowd, the big brother, the Orwellian fetish. They still want to push it, but they're getting so many bumps on the road as well. And one thing I always got to say, you go by human nature, and spiritual warfare has been progressing for a good period of time. They want us all divided, mocking each other, segregation, medical Jim Crow, or apartheid. And they want to hit every nation on the globe on this. But one thing you always got to look at, they don't give a damn about you. You're being played, manipulated, conned, enslaved. Why is that? It's the damn truth. And it doesn't hurt. Is all you gotta do is think about it, see things in a bigger picture, then you can nail their rear ends, hook, line, and sinker. Use them as running targets, of course. And I can go on and on and on. But one of the areas I always admire when you have all these beautiful individuals are learning this and improving their lives and their intellect and share it with others. Because big tech giants want us all censored, critical, give us strikes on YouTube, etc. But now decentralization is the key. Never leave all your social media eggs in one basket. There's plenty of other channels to play with. What they prefer your views, if they agree with you or not. I've been using other areas as well. I am on oneworld.social. I know they had some issues in the past, but it looks like they got it all in tune. So you can find me on there. You can find me on Telegram. I'm not on Signal, but I have a Signal account, but not for the show. But Telegram, One World Social, Spreely, PocketNet, Brighteon.social, Minds, Joshua.net. That's another one. And the kid's cool because he don't want to see everyone going around being suppressed also. And you get some good interaction from other people there as well. So always support, decentralize yourself when it comes to this particular area. And trust me, you'll feel a lot better too, because the fact is this: Facebook, Twitter, all these big sites that want to ostracize like-minded people, it's backfiring on them. Twitter now looks like they lost $523 million supposedly, but it's a big number. They lost a lot of money. Well, because they got rid of Donald Trump, like him or not. It got boring. They shadow banned Alex Jones, David Icke, many other people out there. I'm surprised I'm still on it. Because remember, I have a huge following. So they just want to ban people that are critical thinkers, and they call them conspiracy kooks and all that. And what's funny about it, because everything's coming to light. So I know I've been doing my little rant here, but the truth of the matter is, I'll let you know. You can go to censored.news and check it out yourself. It's always updated. There's a search engine, and even Mike Adams has a site on survival nutrition. You can download it now. 8 hours of MP3 files and one PDF transcription and reference guide, which I gotta do that next. I did the one on his Great Reset, It's very informative, and a lot of stuff I have done, and plus what I can do to better myself. So, and good about him, well, Mike Adams, because he's learning as well. And don't get me wrong, remember, she got shadow banned on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, okay, around 2014. So he's doing something right. So, endorse these individuals, learn about them if you haven't, and if you go to brighteon.com, brighteon.tv, he has video clips and he had great guests on there. You want to educate yourself, not get brainwashed by all this awful, stupid, lousy interpretations of life when you watch the idiot box of the Comedy News Network and Fox News, and I can go on, but I know I'm digressing. However, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, always remain vigilant regardless who's in there, whether it's from the federal, state, or local level of government and around the world. Got folks in India that still listen to my show, and I thank you. People in the United States, share this, hit the like button, and I'll give you all the information about donating and so forth later on. So without further ado, we're going to do a couple of topics here. I'll be narrating, and this one just came from thenewamerican.com, and this is written by R. Kirkwood. Terrorist cop killer Gilbert Paroled murdered 2 cops, Brinks guard in 1981. And let's see what he had to say here. By November 30th, cop-killing communist David Gilbert will be roaming the streets again. As expected, the parole board freed the terrorist cop killer pursuant to a new hearing granted by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who gave Gilbert the get-out-of-jail card before he resigned in disgrace. That tells you how much love and his attributes of loving his state, releasing a murderer, right? Hallelujah. And I'm just wondering what his brother Chris has to say, right? 40 years ago, Gilbert and his equally communist cop killer wife, Kathy Baldwin, ambushed a Brinks armored car in Newnet, New York. With the Black Liberation Army and May 19th communist comrades, the pair killed 2 cops and a security guard. Now Gilbert, Baldwin, and their son, the troubled and lightly outgoing San Francisco District Attorney, Chesa Baldwin, can get together for drinks and dinner with the weather underground bombers who raised Chesa, Bill Ayers, and Bernadine Dorn as their victims cry from the grave. And there's a nice little post, link on the New York Post on this. Slap in the face. Gilbert, 77, went before the parole board on October 19th. The New York Post reported it was the day before the 40th anniversary of the murder raid. Killed in the shootout with the bloodthirsty Red Gang were Nyack Police Sergeant Edward O'Grady and Officer Waverly Brown. Brinks guard Peter Page also went down in a hail of gunfire. Convicted of 3 counts of second-degree murder and 4 counts of first-degree robbery, Gilbert landed in prison sentenced to 75 years to life with no parole until 2056. Wow. And of course, you got that chump, Andrew Cuomo, who likes to crap on his state. He sent the Empire State a message. So, I'm going to continue on here. One of the cops who helped bring down Gilbert and his comrades, Arthur Keene Jr., told New York Times that Gilbert's parole is a terrible injustice. Wounded in the shootout with the murderers gang, Keenan calls Cuomo a traitor. Continued the Times, Ed Day, the Rockland County executive, called the decision to parole Mr. Gilbert a cruel and unjust slap in the face to the families of the attack victims. Mr. Day, a Republican, said that Mr. Cuomo, a Democrat, should be ashamed for allowing this domestic terrorist to walk free. Understandably, pro-criminal Chesa Baldwin is delighted. His cop-killer dad is coming home to enjoy life as a retired terrorist, dandle the grandkids on his knees, and tell them about the old days. I am so grateful to the parole board and to everyone who supported my father during his more than 40 years in prison, Baldwin tweeted. I'm thinking about the other children affected by this crime and want to make sure that nothing I do or say further upsets the victim's family. Their loved ones will never be forgotten, and I'm thinking on the other people inside who have worked so hard to transform their lives and hope one day to return home. And there's a link for that, the tweet. When Cuomo granted clemency, Baldwin declared that his father never intended harm. Right, so the robbery. But that's what young Baldwin would say. The Marxist DA is about to be recalled because he won't prosecute criminals. Baldwin is partly responsible for the death of 2 women killed by a career felon he let out of jail. Of course, Chestnut Baldwin didn't intend any harm either. Anyway, even leftist Wikipedia can't hide the truth. Gilbert and his Red Gang intended a lot of harm, and not just by stealing money when they attacked the Brinks truck at Nonet Mall in Nonet, a hamlet about 30 miles north of Manhattan and west of the Hudson River. The gang was armed to the teeth and prepared for war. At 3:55 p.m. on October 20th, 1981, Brinks guards Peter Page and Joseph Trombino emerged from the mall carrying bags of money as they loaded the money into the truck. The robbers stormed out of their van and attacked. One fired 2 shotgun blasts into the truck's bulletproof windshield, while another opened fire with an M16 rifle. Page was hit multiple times in the chest and killed instantly. Trombino was able to fire a single shot from his handgun, but was struck in the shoulder and arm by several rounds, nearly severing his arm from his body. A truck driver, James Kelly, noticing the shooting behind him, fired several rounds at the robbers through a gun port on the door of his truck, but came under heavy gunfire and took cover underneath the dashboard. But he was hit in the head by glass and bullet shrapnel. The assailants grabbed $1.6 million in cash, got back in their van, and fled the scene. After fleeing the scene, the robbers drove to the parking lot where a yellow Honda and a U-Haul truck manned by members of the May 19th Communist Organization were waiting. The robbers quickly threw the bags of money into the car and truck and sped away. Soon, police officers Edward O'Grady, Reverly Brown, Brian Lennon, and Artie Keenan spotted and pulled over the U-Haul truck with Baldwin in the front seat, along with the yellow Honda as the entrance ramp to the New York State Thruway off New York State Route 59. The police were not sure if they had the right truck, since it had been reported that the robbers were all black, while the occupants of the vehicle were white, a deliberate part of the original plan by the robbers hoping to fool the police. Since the truck matched the description of the getaway vehicle they were looking for, the officers pulled it over and approached the guns with guns drawn. The police officers who caught them testified that Baldwin, feigning innocence, pleaded with them to put down the guns and convince them to drop their guard. Baldwin says she remained silent, that the officers relaxed spontaneously. After the police lowered the guns, 6 men armed with automatic weapons and wearing body armor emerged from the back of the truck, began firing upon the 4 officers. Officer Brown managed to fire 2 or 3 rounds at the robbers before he was hit repeatedly by rifle rounds and collapsed on the ground. One robber then walked up to his prone body and fired several more shots into him with a 9mm handgun, ensuring his death. Keenan was shot in the leg but managed to duck behind a tree and return fire. Wow. Officer O'Grady lived long enough to empty his revolver, but he has reloaded. He was shot several times with an M16. 90 minutes later, he died in the hospital operating table. Meanwhile, Lennon, who was in his cruiser when the shootout began, tried to exit out the front passenger door, but O'Grady's body was wedged up against the door. He watched as the suspects jumped back into the U-Haul and sped directly towards him. So it's interesting there, right? Lennon fired his shotgun several times at the speeding truck as it collided with the police car, then fired 2 rounds from his pistol. Cops found body-making materials and detailed blueprints of 6 Manhattan police precincts. When they raided a terrorist hideout, Gilbert is the first Brinks killer that Cuomo and the parole board has freed. The leftist also sprung another driver, Julia Clark, in 2019. After Kathy Bowden was paroled in 2003, Columbia University hired her as a professor. President Bill Clinton commuted the sentence of terrorist Susan Rosenberg on the last day in office. She, too, became a college professor. A terrorist bomber and a college professor, Bill R. Ayers, said of his life as a free man despite his crimes, guilty as sin, free as a bird. What a country, America. It is very sick and demented. This is why I'm a real prick when I hear garbage like this, folks. And it's okay for them to be habitual offenders, violent criminals, and they can roam free. Well, you got folks in there right now who political prisoners stand for what's right, such as Schaefer Cox is still in the damn cell. This is how insane you got these scumbag elected servants. And Cuomo, he should, right now, they should still do an investigation, hopefully, on the whole nursing home death. Because he loved death. He signed that one bill, for the woman can have an abortion before day of birth. Okay, he signed that. And look what he did here. How astute. That's the kind of people you want, folks. You should never, ever let him in your facilities, including your home. Because you may get in trouble because of this son of a bitch. And excuse my language. David Gilbert is a communist piece of garbage, not a political prisoner, a cold-blooded murderer. That's the kind of people you want in your neighborhoods. I don't want these maniacs, pedophiles, and all that. Disgusting it is. But in due time, things can happen when we least expect it. Blowback. But I don't wish ill on anyone. When you have this mindset, take things for granted, oh yeah, they'll be stepping on their own bear traps, and I don't feel any pity for them. All right, I'm gonna do one more here. And this one here came from the Western Journal. I was looking at this from the WorldNet Daily, and it is the original article. District Attorney makes huge announcement about criminal charges in Alec Baldwin shooting case. As it reads here, is by Jack Davis, by the way. Charges against actor Alec Baldwin and death of the cinematographer from authorities said he shot on the set of the movie Rust are possible, according to the district attorney investigating the killing. We haven't ruled out anything. Mary Carmack Altuiz, the district attorney in Santa Fe County, New Mexico, told the New York Times, everything at this point, including criminal charges, on the table. In other words, is pending. On Thursday, Baldwin was filming Rust, a western in Santa Fe County, drew his gun, pointed it at a camera for the scene in the film, and fired. Helena Hutchins, 42, who was directing photography for the movie, was killed. Director Joe Salza, 48, was injured in the incident and treated at a nearby hospital before being released. Carmack Altuiz said that as of now, the ballistics ends of the investigation is a prime focus, along with developing a full chain of events concerning who handled the gun. There were enormous amounts of bullets on this set, and we need to find out what kind they were. Carmack Altuiz told the Times. 3 revolvers have been recovered, along with ammunition that was both packed in boxes and loose, according to detectives. Carmack Altuiz said the prop gun term that had been used is misleading. It was a legit gun, she said. It was an antique era appropriate gun. According to the affidavit signed by the Times, Assistant Director David Halls called out the cold gun when he handed the weapon to Baldwin. Halls had gone outside the church where filming was taking place and removed the gun from the cart. The gun had been put by Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the film's armorer. Carmack Altuiz said no quick resolution to the case is in sight. It's probably weeks, if not months, of following up investigation that we're going to need to get to the point of charging, she said, according to the Times. There's a poll over here, too, in the Western Journal. Should the actor be charged in this incident? Albuquerque criminal defense attorney Erdelinda Johnson said charges of involuntary manslaughter could be lodged against anyone involved in the tragedy, according to People. Whoever handles the firearm has a duty to check if it for any live rounds, Johnson said. Civil suits are guaranteed regardless of any criminal charges, said David Ring, Los Angeles trial attorney. Baldwin is absolutely going to get named in any wrongful death lawsuit. You just have to show there was negligence that led to the shooting, and it's much lower standard than a criminal case, Ring said. Obviously, there's negligence, and it just depends who was negligent. But ultimately, the production company is in charge. It happened on their watch. Of course, the big ripple effect. The one thing I gotta say, because I've been listening and reading some other stuff on Baldwin, yeah, there's a lot of questions. If he gets involuntary manslaughter, that'd be understandable. But we gotta look at all the investigations, and here's the thing: he's still innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Whether you like Alec Baldwin or not, I don't even watch his movies. He's not funny. He's a hack, a hypocrite, and a tyrannical nutjob. All right? From the Church of Hollywood. Go figure. Remember, Hollywood lies. If someone has a nickname Hollywood, they're a compulsive liar. He's in that environment. So, well, that's how you gotta look at it. I always observe responsibly. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions, but there's a lot of shitty things going on, right? Absolutely. Well, what can you do? Sit back, wait, get all the information. If it goes further, let's see what happens. And I just hope and pray don't do the wrongful death suit first before the trial. It should be the other way around. Just like OJ. They had the criminal case, they found not guilty, but he found liable in the wrongful death suit, the civil suit. And it can happen to Baldwin. Yeah, it's possible. But I don't even watch this movie, so let's see how this goes. It is a horrific tragedy, regardless. So I just hope and pray for the best, and bless their families. Okay. All right. That will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share throughout your social media networks. With your questions, comments, and issues, check out. Whatever you do, please send your correspondence to Quorum. For the more, leave the footnotes of these articles on my speaker page. And if you want to contact me via email, you go to lookyyluck03@protonmail.com. Or if you want to send a donation, you go to paypal.me or cash.app/lookyyluck3. If you want to support New American, Western Journal, subscribe, donate. That'd be great. Hey, like I said before, we want to make sure the information we share with you is accurate as possible. Observe responsibly, never jump the gun. All right. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.